I'm gonna exhale. Hey, hi. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the webinar. Welcome to the webinar. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Alma Nancy. I go by Alma the CPA. And I'm just so happy to be here. So I truly believe in financial education. That's what I'm here to do. I think that everybody has been given little different gifts in life, and this just happens to be a passion of mine. I truly believe that we can get so much further in life if we help each other. You know, literally each one teach one, we can change the world, right? So today's webinar, what I want to go over and discuss is I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me and nobody is posting like, we can't hear you. But today's webinar, what I want to go over is debt and really how credit cards really keep you broke. A lot of people don't realize how credit cards keep you broke, and they just get in the habit of putting different things on their credit cards, putting different things. They're like, oh, I'll pay it off later, or, you know, what's the big deal, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of times, I always tell people that we don't have a we don't have an income problem in America. America is literally filled of high paid poor people. Okay, I hate to say it, but it's high paid poor people. Because a lot of us live paycheck to paycheck, you know, and I don't want to get too off into left field, but I was reading some retirement statistics the other day, and literally 1% of people retire with enough money to be able to maintain their current lifestyle. So that's huge, you know, so that's why I'm here. I just really want to be able to help people and educate people through this platform that I'm a part of, this amazing company that I'm a part of, my Econ. And so my nephew is texting me. And so, like I said, I want to go over debt. And so one of the things that, we might as well go ahead and get started. So just a little bit about myself really quick. My name is Alma Nancy. Born and raised in Chicago, Illinois. My dad is actually a retired IRS agent, and my mom is a Chicago public school teacher. She's retired. She was a teacher, administrator. And so I go by Alma the CPA. I am a certified public accountant, but I like to say that I have the best of both worlds, right? I'm one of those people that my mom, since she was a teacher, I love to teach. I love giving back and providing service. And my dad also was somewhat of a servant, you know, or is somewhat of a servant because he works for the government or worked for the government, the IRS. But that's where I get my passion for numbers as well. So let's go ahead and get started. I don't want to keep you guys here too long. After the webinar, if there are any questions, literally no question is too small, you can post it in the chat room. I won't be able to hear you, but you can post it and I'll answer it in the chat room. And also, if you are watching the replay, welcome to the replay. And if you're watching the replay, you can still reach out to me. You can respond to, because it'll be posted on my YouTube. You can respond to me on YouTube. It'll come directly to me. And if you signed up for the webinar and you're watching the replay of the webinar, you can respond to me and it'll come directly to my email. Okay. So you guys can always reach me at Alma, is AMMA, at Alma thecpa.com. Okay, that's my email address, or feel free to reach out to me on social media platforms. Facebook is Alma Nancy, or Instagram is Alma the CPA, and then of course on YouTube as well. So what I want to go over real quick is just how important debt is. So if you think about it, or how debt really is detrimental to us. So if you think about it, 1/3 of our income goes to the government. Okay, so 1/3 goes to the government because it comes off the top from our taxes, right? We don't, when we have a regular W-2 job, which a lot of us do, you don't even get to see that money. So it comes literally right off the top. You don't get to see that money. Then if you think about it, 1/3 of your of the rest of your income is going to pay the banks. Because a lot of us, we end up financing our lifestyle, and taxes cause debt. Okay, so that's in another video where I kind of go through and explain that. But if you think about it, every time you go to finance a car or finance a house or your anything literally that you go to finance, they ask you, how much do you make? How much do you make? But the reality is that amount of money never actually hits your bank account. So if somebody tells you that, or let's say you are making $100,000, $30,000 of it is going to Uncle Sam. So you actually only bring home about $70,000. But the problem is that when you go to finance your car or your house or whatever it is, your credit cards, whatever you're using credit for, you go to finance these different things and they ask you, how much do you make? They don't ask you, how much do you bring home? So you end up financing, borrowing money. I should say you borrow money based on if you actually had $100,000 coming into your household. But in reality, you don't. So you're already $30,000 in the hole. And then you turn around and we have to pay this interest, right? So I want to go through, if you got a chance to download if there was a link when you registered for the webinar. And what I can do is let me post that link in the chat room right now for everybody that's here. And when we post the replay, I will have that link available for everybody as well. Where's that link? Okay, so I'll post this link, and then for anybody that did not get a chance to, I have to figure out a way to shorten it. For anybody that didn't get a chance to download the worksheet, because this is going to be a working webinar. So we'll go ahead and dive right into it. So I want to pull this up. And I'm going to share my screen. If you guys cannot see me, feel free, or I'm sorry, if you cannot see my screen, then feel free to let me know. Okay, here we go. In this illustration, I'm just going to show you guys how credit actually works and how your sentence, so to speak, how long it actually takes you to pay something off. So first off, one of my mentors, Mr. Ivy Stokes, he is worth over $600 million. We actually call him the $600 million man. This is a quote that I love from him. So it's like, interest is the price you pay. So you can put in price right here. Interest is the price you pay for the right to own something in advance that you cannot afford. Okay. And that's a quote directly from the $600 million man. So interest is the price you pay for the right to own something in advance that you cannot afford. And if you think about it, that's the truth. You know, it's like you pay for something in advance, or you get something in advance and then you have to pay for it later. So interest is that price that you're paying for not having the cash up front. So like I said, here in America, it's filled of high paid poor people. A lot of people live paycheck to paycheck because we don't have an income problem. We actually have a cash flow problem. Okay. We have a cash flow problem. So let's go ahead with our illustration. So let's say you owe $5,000. Now this is being conservative. I know a lot of people that owe, maybe this is $5,000 on one credit card. Okay, so let's say you got $5,000 that you owe on one specific credit card and you pay them $100 per month. Okay, so put 100 in your worksheet. And if at any time, if I'm going too fast, please let me know. You can type it in the chat room just to slow down a little bit. And I most certainly will. Okay, so you pay $100 a month. Now, a lot of times, everybody does only pay the minimum payment because that's what they're asking you to pay. It's like, if your bills didn't have a due date, where would you pay them? Right? You wouldn't pay them. So it's the same thing with the minimum payment. If they did not tell you how much you had to pay at a minimum every single month, a lot of people wouldn't even pay. Okay, so number 3. Let's say, and I'm being very conservative because I know a lot of interest rates are a lot higher than this, but let's say your interest rate is 21%. Okay, so you can put 21% in there. Now, a lot of times, this is what people do. They say, okay, $5,000 multiplied by 21%. Oh, okay, that's only $1,050, right? So then they say, okay, so Alma, what's the big deal if, I don't have the $5,000 right now, I have to pay an extra $1,050. Whoop-dee, right? So 5,000, I'm going to put it off to the side of the worksheet. 5,000 multiplied, okay, 5,000 multiplied by the 21%. So you say, right, then that gives you the 1,050. So a lot of people say, okay, so 1,050 extra dollars, what's the big deal? Who cares, right? It's only $1,000 and they gave me 5,000. But what a lot of people neglect to realize is how much is the monthly interest rate that you are paying every single month. So for number 4, we already know it's 21% interest. Okay, now we want to divide the 21% interest by 12 months in a year. That's going to give you 1.75% interest every single month. 1.75% interest every single month. So now, if every single month out of every $100 that you pay, right, 1.75% is going towards the interest. So I'm sorry, I don't want to jump ahead. So the interest payment, so let's figure out the interest payment, right? So we already figured that 1.75% is your monthly interest rate, okay? So number 5, let's figure out the interest payment for every single month. So 0.0175, right? Because we carry over twice, bring the decimal over twice, 1, 2, like we did in school. So 0.0175 is the interest rate. Right now we want to multiply this times our total, which is $5,000. Okay, $5,000. That is going to give you $87.50 per month, ladies and gentlemen, per month. Now that's crazy because we're only sending them $100. Okay, so we're sending them $100 and out of that, $87.50 is going towards interest. This is why it feels like you pay these credit cards literally forever, because you do. So let's go ahead. And this is exactly why it leaves you broke. Okay, so the principal payment. Let's say, okay, so the principal payment, if we minus $87.50, okay, minus the 100, the principal payment, that the amount that's going towards principal every single month is only $12.50. So what that means is that 87, so just to reiterate, $87.50 is going towards interest. $12.50 is going towards the principal, and the principal is what is really what you really want to pay back. The principal is really what is going to knock the balance down to zero. So the reality of this is, let me scroll down a little bit so you guys can see the rest. So the reality of this is $5,000 divided by $12.50 means that you are literally paying this credit card for 400 months. 400 months. And I'm not laughing at people's lack of knowledge, right? I'm just laughing at the fact of the awareness, just the fact of the awareness, because now once you know better, you can do better, right? You're paying this in 400 months. Okay, this is why you always feel broke. This is why you feel like you live in paycheck to paycheck, because you never get out of paying this. It seems like never, right? So your sentencing, so to speak, how long is this going to take? If you say 400, right, 400 months divided by 12 months in a year, okay, that's 33 years. This is 33 years, literally 33 years that you are paying this one $5,000 credit card. So just to wrap this worksheet up, okay, that's $100 that you're paying every single month. And we already figured out that you are paying it for 400 months. That means that this is $40,000, $40,000 that the banks are making off of our $5,000. $40,000. Okay, and we remember the original balance that we borrowed was the original amount that we borrowed was $5,000. So the bank is literally making $35,000 off of us. So the banks get $40,000 back to them when we only borrowed $5,000. This is crazy, you guys, and this is why we literally feel like credit always leaves us in a position where we are broke and we are living paycheck to paycheck. Because what I want you guys to do is think about this one example of $5,000. You can multiply that. Let me go back from the screen sharing, turn that off. Sorry. So if you think about it, we pay that $40,000 back to the bank, but what I want you guys to do is think about this one example that we just went through. Apply this to all your credit cards, okay? Because we're just saying this is one credit card. Apply this to your student loan. Apply this to your mortgage. Apply this to your car note or car notes, plural, okay, or mortgages. Some people take out second mortgages. So apply this to every single time you borrow money from anybody. And just remember, like my mentor taught me, interest is the amount that you pay to get something in advance that you cannot afford. So you always want to make sure that you weigh your your pros and cons as to something that you actually really need versus something that you just want right now. Maybe it's a good sale or something like that. And maybe it is a good sale, but at the same time, even if it is a good sale that you caught, if you are paying it back years, it's not worth it. 400 months is not worth it. So if anybody has any questions, you can go ahead and put them in the chat room. But definitely, I want you guys to really think about anytime you go to use your credit card. Think about anytime you go to swipe that card and how long it's actually going to keep you locked in chains, so to speak. Right. And so we really have to get out of this, and the program that I'm a part of, that's exactly what we do. We just help people. It's a success company. Okay. So we help people get out of debt, stay out of debt, and more importantly, start putting up money for their future so they can really start to get ahead in life. But like I said, any questions, go ahead, post them in the chat room. Feel free to reach out to me on social media platforms. I'm a Nancy, right, on Facebook. My Facebook fan page is I'm a CPA. My Instagram is I'm a the CPA. And then YouTube page is also I'm a the CPA. And we'll go ahead and get out of here. I will send out the replay. And then, like I said, I'll go ahead and post it in a few days on my YouTube page as well. If anybody needs the worksheet, it's posted in the chat room. And then I'll also make sure that I post the worksheet as well when I post. So we'll go ahead and get out of here. And remember, each one teach one, we can definitely change the world. Talk to you guys soon. Have an amazing, amazing day. It's Alma the CPA.